anybody who knows anything about you will be instantly inspired because not only do you have a breadth of work that is glorious, highly awarded, decorated, and has spanned maybe close to 30 years,
Yeah.
but then also you have put it aside and you know at the at what people call the golden years of their career, when people are like thinking of retirement and are thinking of like so many different things, you've decided to change and become a chief AI officer for the India Today group. And once you investigate, it becomes obvious why this change happened. But I would love to know how that big switch has impacted you at this cusp of your career.
Thank you for that nice introduction. Really, thank you. Uh, Shubhankar, I I am a kid till now. My family friend who knows me pretty well, they think I'm a little kid running around, going shopping, going in the mall, going in the toy shop, buying toys. So I've been doing it for last 28 years. I started as a business graduate, then moved to art, took a jump, fought with my parents, came to Delhi, struggled 3 years, went through a lot of ups and downs, and then started my journey in India today. So I think Shubhankar, retirement is a state of mind. Somebody already retired at age of 20, somebody retires at age of 50 or 60. Retirement is not a physical incident. It's all here. And whenever I look at myself, I'm always competing with a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old or a 30-year-old. And the competition is healthy because in that process, I push myself and thinking, not physically, mentally thinking why I am behind. If I'm 50 or 60, it doesn't matter. If I can still have that passion and I still have that interest to create something new, I will always go forward for it.
Hmm.
And I've seen people giving up. They don't give up physically. People start giving up at a very early stage mentally because of and everybody has problem. I totally understand. This world is full of problems. I totally understand. But your passion is beyond those problems. Every morning you get up for a passion. If you're not feeling well and you're not getting up and you're not thinking about something new, I think there's something needs to be done. So when I look at my young team, so I became an AI guy. Let me go back 3 years back. I was the first person in India today to get an access of DALI. DALI was the first visual AI
Yes, I remember.
magic. And surprisingly, I got access very early. I
Hmm.
was lucky enough, and maybe the universe wanted me to push me through this. So, and it interested me. And then simultaneously, I thought this could be my end. And this is it. My visual career will end soon if this thing grows. And there was a little buzz here and there. I was in a lot of groups, so-called Facebook and Insta group, where there are this uh, bunch of geeks opening up a platform where people are coming in, talking, and I was picking up those buzz around the world. And I started researching, and then I found this is amazing. It's an amazing tool. And when I look back now, I was wrong. It was not only a tool, it was an entity. And that entity is now thinking, planning, doing things, replacing us, which is sad but true. A lot of people tell me, no, 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 human mind, human thing will be always the same. Hello, it is a replica of us. The whole system of AI, the large language models are replicate of brain mapping. So the first AI was done on a base of brain mapping. So everything came from human thinking, human neurons functioning. So it is exactly a replica of a human. He is 1,000% or million percent faster. So how does it make it a tool now? It's not. It's a counterpart. It's a replacement. So in my opinion, when I jumped into this, and then it's a rabbit hole. So then came the chat GPT, and everybody started kind of going gaga over it. But in that meantime, I created the first AI and news anchor, Sana, 2.5 years back, where there was no Sora, no VO, no tools, no explanation. There are only science papers, which a few of the university put it up on their website, on researchpaper.com, all those places. There were research papers. And since I don't come from a math background, but I had a kind of perception of maths, and since my subject was statistics, and so I started kind of understanding how to play around AI. So, but surprisingly, we're the first in the world to create a full body AI news anchor. And I thought, okay, this looks promising. So, initial days, I went through a lot of depression and frustration because the quality I was looking for was not available. In fact, the technology was not available. So, we did lots of back and forth, started working with a young group, external group. Two guys started a small business in Dehradun. We started working with them as well. And we created Sana, and then it became magic. And then everybody started kind of copying it and stuff like that. But I was lucky enough to be in the right place at right time to create. And I always believe it was not me, it was a kind of a symphony where everything came and fixed and created something magical at a very early stage of AI.
Obviously, you're humble enough to say that it's all kind of magical, but I think it wouldn't have been made possible had it not been your intention and this your desire to keep going forward. Like you said, that retirement is just a state of mind. Uh, one of the two things that stood out for me while researching about you was, of course, your hard work and how you define hard work. Um, so let me just come to that. Now that you're working with AI, I mean, you are the kind of guy who would sleep in your boss's cabin if you needed to deliver a design, or you're the kind of guy who'd work 48 hours non-stop, or you're the kind of guy who makes charcoal horses, which is a very tiresome process in and of itself. Painstaking, not tiresome, but painstaking. Now when you put a prompt in and the design comes out in 5 seconds, how do you personally define hard work?
Interesting. So, good question. Okay. So, how it happens? So, for instance, you like to travel, and you have been planning your traveling for last 1 year. For instance, you started your planning in February, and in October it got finalized. You get all those details painstakingly going through that. Where should I stay? What should I see? And you did that, and you had a great traveling thing. And then you thought, no, why should I do it myself? Let's ask an agent. So I will ask a travel agent to do the same thing. But does it dilute my traveling experience? No. Maybe it enhance my traveling experience, right? Exactly the same way when you are creating a prompt is not a two line. Everybody is doing AI, which I think it's not clever, it's not smart. So when you prompt something, your prompt has to be as accurate as possible and as tiresome as possible. Every step you have to make AI understand. See, AI is itself is not an intelligent being. It follows rules, it follows your command. And if your command are not draft in a certain way, you will never get a result. 90% AI images you see people produce are plasticky. You can find out, oh, this is AI. And human mind is brilliant. Even a 0.5% different from a real image to an AI image, your subconscious mind will kind of get it. No, no, this is AI. I think I have a feeling this is an AI image. But the magic happened in that 0.5%, and all the hard work happened in that 5%, 0.5%, where you push yourself. I sometimes take 2 hours, 3 hours to create one single prompt of 30 lines. I have to go through a lot of books, a lot of website to understand how a photographer takes a photo, how an individual photographer looks through their lens. I can create, replicate, create something totally new since I have that training. It is not easy. It is not done in a 5 minutes job. I just type in and say, okay, this is my prompt. I will have those million images what been produced every day. So people has a misconception of AI. ये तो कर देगा, ये तो खाली लिखना ही है एक लाइन. It doesn't work. You have to be as detailed, as technical as possible. You have to be technically sound to produce visuals. My experience for 20 years, not only digital but also analog. I started my job with a watercolor artist. I was an illustrator doing watercolor. And that was my first assignment. And I used to work for India Today doing watercolors and sketches, paper sculpture. I have been too much in analog for so many years. So my training base is strong because I have been doing it analogy. It's not digital. The problem happens now with new kids. They start with their digital. There is no idea behind it until you use your fingers. There's a reason we have fingers. There's a reason we have nerve points on the fingers. It's communicate with your brain. Every expression, every touch and feel is part of perspective, part of perception. Today's AI artist doesn't have a perception because they have not used their hand fingers to understand the shape. When I'm creating a dress in AI, I have to feel the fabric. If I don't have that experience of putting a scissor and cutting it, I will never be able to create an amazing design in AI because people doesn't understand we are an analog being in a digital world. Our fingers have not vanished. Our hand and legs are not vanished. We are not just a brain here. Every senses works. When I'm creating a digital entity, my physical entity is into it 100%, 200%. Until and unless you have that kind of touch, feel, expression, hearing, smelling, talking, listening, you cannot create unbelievable stuff in AI. Let me put it this way.
Hmm.
A doctor, you won't give a doctor, nowadays operation happens over internet, thousands of miles. But if I tell you this doctor is trained in a digital platform very beginning, he's not been a doctor. You will never go and operate yourself with the help of that doctor. You always say, नहीं नहीं पहले इसको किसने operation किया था physically.
Hmm.
The very important part of our existence is our expression, perception, and as well as understanding what's around us.
Yeah.
And this is just a reflection. AI is just a reflection of us. It is not a separate entity we are fighting 24 hours. It is us who is reflected to digital.
Right. Like one of the great novelties of working with ChatGPT, and this is something like an analogy that I was very excited to share with you. Actually, I read it somewhere that it's like as an artist, you have a certain imagination, and you, with your specific prompt or with your specific brush stroke, in the analogous world, you create your imagination. But so much of beauty happens outside our imagination. For example, when a photographer goes out to click a picture, they don't know what the sunset is going to look like on that specific day, what the cloud formation is going to be, what the hue of the sky is going to be, how the trees are going to look against, or how the, whatever, how the entire, what nature is creating for you is what exactly the chat gpt is going to create for you. There is a certain ambiguity to when you write a prompt and you send it across and something new comes up that you had not imagined. Is it something that you particularly enjoy about this AI experience, or something that you would actually not want? You would want it to reflect your own imagination.
See, when an artist, let me tell you how an artist, because I'm an artist myself. I've done many exhibitions. I've been working with charcoal, oil. So when an artist stands in front of a blank canvas, he has no clue what will be the final result. He starts his first stroke on the white canvas and the magic starts happening. It's happening all here. You're constantly evolving from a when you started with some idea and at end of it the painting changes. Exactly the same thing with AI. Some Most of the time magic happens when it is unpredictable. So magic is an interesting analogy because why people like magic? People like magic because there is an uncertainty, there is an undefined line. Anything can happen, and that's awe you. That's kind of wow you. Oh, this is what happened. Exactly with AI, exactly with any artist working with any kind of medium. When they start something and they end something, if you ask them, they will say, there was a transition in the middle. Surprisingly, things turn out to be amazing. So I think the whole process we are looking at from an AI perspective, we should look through a human mind perspective.
Hmm.
AI is just a blank canvas for us. Whatever we create, something magic pops up, something really magic, sometimes really what we perceive, it happens. But most of the time, it is all magical. It's always popping up new ideas, new stuff, which for me, I'm very excited because I also paint on charcoals and I also go through that exact same feeling when I'm working on a canvas. I'm working on a computer. The same. There is no difference.
I think you're describing AI as a medium then.
Exactly.
Hmm.
A smart medium. Smart medium is it can think, but to an extent, but it can also pop up results which is unexpected.
Okay. Let's dial back the conversation a little bit. Let's go back in history. Obviously, you're an amazing artist. I've seen your work. I've seen the charcoal horses. Beautiful, amazing. I mean, who am I to
Thank you.
give you any feedback on your
No, no, no,
creative?
it's not. Everybody is an artist. I totally believe in that.
It's really beautiful. But I wanted to actually talk to you about a greater artist whose shadow, I think, who kind of shadows you, which is Mr. Bimal Das.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about him and his work and his influence on you? Because I have some theories about his influence on you, but I'll get to it once you.
Okay. I will give you a small incident that will make you understand what kind of artist he was. So one fine day, he usually used to sit on the floor and he used to draw. And when he's doing that, his body doesn't move, only his finger used to move. So if you look from a distance, there's a man sitting, only the fingers is moving, everything is static and static for hours. So one fine day, my mom came with tea, and she was said, "Hey, what are you doing? Your fingers are burning," because he is a chain smoker. So his finger was there, and he was painting, and oh my God, I just burned my finger because he didn't realize his cigarette that ash is this much, and it's touched his finger. So that kind of concentration, that kind of focus that man had. No initial training of any painting, any drawing, any school. He struggled a lot. He's a self-made man, but his art, till date in history of Indian illustrations and design, I have never seen. I'm not boasting because he's my father, but I can challenge anyone. There's not a single person in this country who can create watercolor painting like him. What he has done. He has done paper sculpture. He used to do costumes for movies. He used to do theatrical background. So he has done unbelievable stuff. And since he was a very big banyan tree, so a small plant like me and my brother won't survive because we also need some sunlight to survive. So we always struggle because everybody is to compare us. Arey, you should do work like your father. And I've been listening that. So my main reason to migrate to Delhi was to find myself as an individual, not in the shadow of my father. Yeah, and this happens with lot of genius people, their kids, because they're always been compared with. And when Calcutta, he's like a star. He has so many followers. If you talk to any Bengali and tell him this is Bimal Das, everybody will know. And Calcutta has that culture. Still now they have a culture of reading books, idolizing writers, illustrator, designers. So which was overwhelming for me. And that's the reason we kind of escaped from Calcutta and came to Delhi.
So my theory on your father and your relationship was that I saw one painting which kind of stood out to me of his, which is, and I'm describing it right now, but I'll probably flash the painting on the screen as when I edit this. So it's this tree that the root of it is a pen, the nip of a pen, and it's killing a snake that is going under the tree, and some of the snakes are also coiled up on the branches of the tree. And to my mind, isn't that something that AI would create? Like that kind of an imagination would be something like a prompt I would give to AI, and that would come out of the mind of a higher entity. That's how it appeared to me. That a common man wouldn't think of it. So maybe if you have some input on how that came about and what was that.
So the story is about killing the negative part of the society through writing. But
Right,
also the writer is also part of the society.
right,
So it is not easy. If you look at the tree, and the snakes are the negative influence in the society, and protesting was killing those through your writing, but in fact you are not away from it because you're also part of the
part
same
of it.
society. So see, end of the day, when you are creating something, whether it on AI or whether on a paper or pen, you always have an idea. It is not that you're sitting there and suddenly an idea pops up from AI and it started talking to you and say, "Oh, I have an idea for you. Why don't you create something?" It's never like that. End of the day, it's your idea, your mind space where you create those visions. I'll tell you that painting on the cover is like a viewpoint to the of the society. So every illustrator or designers who are creating something, they are not replicating somebody's idea, they are also creating a parallel analogy. When I create a cover for India Today, I create a cover like a writer. I think like a writer who has written the cover story. So the my difficult part is the writer has got 5 pages or 10 pages to explain with photograph his stories. I got only one shot, one visual to explain the whole story. I find that is much more difficult than a writer, because writer can write his expression, his what's going on in his mind on a 5 page or 10 page. I have only one visual to explain everything. So if you look at all my covers in India Today, Business Today, Time Magazine, you will see there is a language, a parallel story which is explaining the story.
Yeah.
So a person usually when the magazine's on a newsstand, a person has 5 to 6 seconds attention to pick it up or I don't pick it, and it has to tell that story within 5 seconds. So it's a I think whether it's AI or whether it's a pen and pencil thing, it doesn't matter. Basically, you know your idea, things are happening subconsciously. You have read the article, and you start prompting. So, in my opinion, prompting is also kind of preparing my painting, and finally, voila, the results here on my screen. So there is not. I always tell people there is not much difference between an AI and the way we work now. It is only the speed and then multiplication, which we are and which will replace us because of that speed and cost. To hire an artist like him nowadays will will cost me a fortune, but I will have a $5 software to do it. So end of the day, AI was developed for saving money. Let
Right.
it. It's honest, because end of the day it was nothing. I have to evolve the humanity. No, it's all bullshit. End of the day, the prime aim is to reduce the cost, make things faster, easier, so that I can make money. That's the reason all the big corporations in the world spending billions, because they are not full. They're going to change the world. They're going to make millions and billions, and that's what happening now. So it's a cost saving, profiting mechanism. Let me put it this way: it is not here to evolve humanity. No,
Mhm.
not at all.
But going back to circling back to what you had said earlier, that 0.5% of a difference between when a viewer can see that, oh, this is AI generated and this is human generated, the difference between a Bimal Das and AI. Do you think that AI will be able to bridge that 0.5% as well, or do you think that's your job as the chief AI officer or the creative head or the designer or the creator to kind of um, bridge that gap?
See, my problem is uh, I am in a catch 22 situation. If I try to evolve, my human quality will perish. Okay, I'm and I want to push and make it 100%, but parallelly, I know that 0.5% differentiate between Nilanjan and an AI. Okay, and that 0.5% is very difficult, extremely difficult. I'm telling you, you go through any website anywhere in the world, you find anything which you looks like, oh my god, this is exactly like, for example, Bimal Das. You'll never find anything. See, so AI is too perfect. Let me put it this way: AI is too perfect, and human being is full of flaws. When you create a song, when you create a painting, when you create a visual, there is a flaw. That imbalance makes us human. That imbalance is the niche of any human creativity. That doesn't happen in AI.
Mm.
AI is created to be too perfect. Anything too perfect is repulsive. So that 0.5% is the imbalance, immaturity, flaw, complicated. We are all very complicated beings. We have flaws. So that kind of amplifies who you are now. And that cannot be copied. I don't know if it happens, but if the direction the AI is going, it is trying too hard to be smarter than human, not trying to be imperfect. But as long as human being remain an imperfect being, we will survive. AI can't take over in that sense. It may take over continuous job, multiple job, but to be an artist at core, AI cannot be an artist at core. That because of that 0.5% imbalance, imperfection.
AI will never feel the burning cigarette in its hand.
Exactly. It will extinguish before it happens.
Right, right. Uh, okay, so now let's get to the specifics of prompt engineering. I think, like, from prompt writing, I think it's a far more complicated thing. Um, as I see it, there are 4 or 5 steps to your creative process. Some of them you have told in interviews and whatnot. So it's there's research, there's rough sketch, there's the storyboard, and then there's the final graphic. Can you take me through the journey of the before and after of these 4 or 5 steps that you went through before AI and after AI?
Okay, the process is same. So when I get an article and discussion happening in the meeting, I started visualizing. So from my very early stage, I have a inherent quality of able to see the final product. I can always see my final cover before I start. And that's what kind of helps me to create sketches. And when I'm looking at things, I always wanted to simplify. My excitement, my adrenal rush is you give me a very complicated subject, I will boil down to one single simple a 2 year or 5 year old can understand that kind of visual. And that's been my effort throughout my career. Filtering, and creating as simple as possible. I always think myself as that caveman who is painting those little bulls, and it looks like bull, but when you look at it, it's only a two-line thingy, and you see that you say, "Oh my God, it looks like a bull." How does this person kind of so that kind of inspiration I look at when human being was much more simpler. So if you look at a child drawing, it can explain very complicated things in a very simple line. There is a childlike honesty in those kind of things. And I think visual artists have forgotten that. How simplification helps to communicate. End of the day, this is all communication. Shubhankar, I am communicating with you on a podcast, but I can communicate with a visual also without meeting. You can see my cover and say, oh, that's what he's saying, without me being present and explaining each covers.
Yeah.
So that's the power of visual communication. So I always think simplification and simplifying, even the people doesn't understand that subject, they will understand, oh, this is a GST story. Oh, this is a social cause story. Oh, this is a
China
romance story.
story.
Yes. So how do you make it simplified as well as create an awe around it?
Yeah.
It is not easy. I go through a lot of struggle, go back and forth, constantly thinking on those ideas. So when a cover starts, when I'm at home also, over the weekend, I'll start thinking, how do I make the cover more interesting? And an artist mind is always kind of restless. It is not, I won't ask somebody to to be an artist at this day and age because it's complicated. You're constantly restless. You're constantly doubting yourself and criticizing yourself. Forget about the world. It starts from within. I when I look at my 1 year back work, I said, what I have done. Oh my God, you should have done better. And that's not easy to live with. It's a constant effort. It's a constant fight, war within to create something and to destroy and then say, oh, this is not working. Let's I could have done better. So I think the whole process in AI, coming back to prompt as well as it starts from here. The idea comes from here. Then the prompting is just the skill. It's a detailed skill which you have to kind of train yourself, and that's it.
I can ask AI that, listen, I have this idea of a poster in my mind. The maybe the flag of China, but the stars on it are cameras. Make this. And there's a door opening or shutting, and we can talk about how China is, like, been spying on its people or whatever. Or I can say, hey, listen, I have no clue. There's this covers design that has come in. Think of some idea and make it. There's the idea of co-ideating or asking it to ideate. Where do you use what? Where do you decide? Huh.
So you have a horse and you have a horse carriage. You will never whisper in the ear of horse saying ki mujhe na you take me to this place. Okay, you take me to this place and I'm relaxing. Let's do this. You'll never do that.
Right.
So I think AI is a horse. You are constantly riding. It's powerful. You cannot compete with it, but you cannot whisper and tell him कि मुझे यहाँ ले चलो,
Hmm.
मुझे यहाँ घुमा दो, मुझे दिल्ली दर्शन करा दो. It will never happen. So this is the difference.
Right. um, so when you're talking to an AI, I wanted to understand what, if at all, do you speak to it when you're prompt engineering, when you're writing a prompt? Are you speaking to it like a friend, or are you saying that, hey, listen, I'm a designer and I'm going to make this design, so help me with it? Or are you giving like a master slave kind of a thing where you're giving it instructions? Did you feel that the way you speak with it kind of changes the result?
So the very smart thing to do is I will write think like an AI expert. I will write my first line of the prompt. Think like an master prompt engineer. So it is thinking, and I'm making him think like he is a master prompter. Now prompt me this. So he will take account how a master prompter looks like, how he works. So he will crawl or every part of the internet. He will get the master prompter. He will understand him, and he will create a prompt for me. But the thing is, Subhankar, I already have defined the idea in my brain. I've already created that visual. Now I'm only using it as a medium.
Right.
But interesting thing happens when a machine hallucinates. So AI also hallucinates, and sometimes very unexpected result pops up, which scares me. Sometimes I see a reflection of Bimal Das because this guy is hallucinating. So hallucinating is also that 0.5% of
Mistake.
yes. And we call it hallucination. I call it Eureka. People look at it, oh, it is hallucinating. The model is not. It is not hallucinating. It is in a borderline between a human thinker and a machine thinking. And we always hide it as a hallucination. You should be scared of hallucination. You should be scared that the machine should hallucinate.
Yeah.
Because if start hallucinating, he's going to create something crazy. So hallucination is the threatening part of AI for mankind.
Can you give me an
People don't look at that way.
Can you give me an example of how when it's hallucinated and you kind of used it, implemented it?
So I wrote a prompt saying ki create something as a migrant who has been asked to leave this country, a migrant from a minority community, and create a portrait. First two or three was very kind of mm, everybody used those kind of photos, and third it hallucinates and the photo came half. Sometimes what happened, it usually goes half and it get
Yeah.
pops up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever it does that, I usually take a screenshot. The eyes expression will haunt you for rest of your life. The desperation, the person who have lost everything, that expression was there in that woman's eyes. I will share that image with you and you will understand what I'm saying. I After that I have tried 10, 15 times, I couldn't get that result. Zero. So
Wow.
it is a mistake or it is the truth. I don't know. But this kind of things pops up. And I call it machine got enlightened. It suddenly got enlightenment.
By the way, are we good on time?
Yeah. No issues. It's Sunday.
I'm not boring you, na?
No, not at all. It's a very interesting communication.
Okay, okay,
I
great.
quite like this. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so like when you finally maybe created something, when this Eureka moment has happened, I feel like there are these aha moments that happen, the magic moments that we talk about. But one of the lesser things that we probably don't discuss are the moments, like when you think of an idea and it's kind of there but not there. So maybe take me through the process of how you kind of get an idea and you're not satisfied with it. You know it's not the best. You know it is not going to send it to reprint, but you also know that there is something there and I can work on it. How does that happen?
See, a lot of time what happens is AI do a lot of mistakes, and whatever the result I was looking for is not happening. Then I go back to my older days of photoshopping.
Hmm.
So I do uh, Photoshop is a very important part of this as well. So every process is not only AI. There is a lot of photo retouching, photo creation, hand sketches happens in the cover. So even it looks like it's been done by AI, it is not. There's a lot of hard work in the background as well, which I do not explain, or I do not explain to anyone, because it's a process, and that's how I create something which I'm happy with it. So only through AI, 70% I'm not happy, because there are a lot of things happens. I have to retouch it, redo the image, again put it up, ask the AI to think only through this lens, not through anything else. So the direction is a very important part of this process
Hmm.
with AI. Every step you have to be clear. You cannot use jargons. You cannot, if you are confused, AI is confused. It is like a little boy looking at you and you are saying, okay, let's do this now. Let's
Yeah.
jump over this. But if you start talking gibberish and you have no clarity, AI will pop up results which is really bad, which doesn't make any sense. So until and unless you are clear about that process and clear about that idea, but even though there are a lot of time, there is a lot of mistakes happen through AI, and that has to be rectified manually.
Hmm.
So if you, even if I'm creating a news anchor, the look and feel is created on paper, on computer, not on AI.
Right.
So final look and feel is then give those data as we feed into AI, and then make the AI understand what I am looking for.
Right.
So it is constantly trying to understand you. So when you write any prompt in AI, you are also training the AI,
Hmm.
because he is getting, or he or it is. See, now I've started talking he or she. I'm giving you a human. So it starts kind of replicate you, your style. So when I put up all this data and make him understand that this is the direction I'm looking for this cover or looking for this video or looking for this image, it follows. But you have to be extremely clear. So you will see so many things happening with AI. All the videos, they look so artificial, extremely artificial.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying here, I can send you a couple of examples. They are as human as possible
Right.
because they have human flaws in the video. So that makes it more human.
Right.
So the process is the most important part. AI comes at a very later stage.
Because in my limited experience working with AI, trying to create visuals with it. So, for example, if I give it a character and then I ask it that, okay, this character is an asset, like a PNG asset, and now create another PNG asset of the same PNG file of the same character, but in a different pose or running or striking some other thing. 9 times out of 10, my character will suddenly grow a mustache that it didn't have, or it'll have a different hair or a different colored eyes, and suddenly I'm like, no, and then it's this very frustrating process going back and forth with it. But what the way you are describing it is that the design, maybe Sana wearing a white sari or versus of Sana wearing an air hostess's costume, is the human element of it, and then it is kind of cre- it's been made to speak through AI. Am I understanding that correctly?
No, so if I want to create an air hostess, so I will say, okay, now what is a dress of an air hostess? She wears a long skirt or a, so you have to create an image of Sana wearing that kind of dress.
Hmm.
You can then change the design in AI, but
Okay.
also you have to put an example of which airline you're talking about
Right.
and also which weather she's wearing that. You cannot in summer time, you cannot have Sana wearing a coat or a jumper suit.
Right.
You'll always ask her, okay, let's see what she wears in winter. So that kind of little details.
Hmm.
I also put season because the lighting on the face outdoor is changes with season.
Wow.
If you look at winter lights are very so human mind can look at a light and say this is winter or summer.
Hmm.
You realize why winter feels winter, not only of the cold, because of the sun's direction of the light. The
Right.
light looks very different than in summer.
Right.
I also put that geographical location, very important part as well. What background you're looking at.
Hmm.
If I don't put the background detail of saying in Delhi city, in Lajpat Nagar roadside, in Lajpat Nagar in front of a mall, those detail has to be there, pinpoint to a level where you are explaining everything. So that kind of detail has to be there. Otherwise, your image, you will go back and forth changing sometimes background, sometimes light, sometimes cloud. Do you need cloud on the sky? If there is cloud on the sky, AI will create an overcast of colors on the face of Sana. It will be a different color texture. But if I say clear sky, blue always also reflect on your face. So you get
Hmm.
a little greenish feel. If she's standing under a sun, there is a yellow hue to it, whether it's a warm white inside the room or a white light. That is also very important. So I'm looking at those details as well.
Sounds not easy. Sounds very difficult. But then again, this is something that I think is kind of proving the point that AI and its creativity versus the mind of a genius creator. I mean, you won't probably call yourself a genius, but
No,
I,
not at all.
I can call you a genius and say that kind of how it merges together and creates something. Because I would never have paid attention to an AI asset having light on their face that is different from the clouds. That is insane detailing. Uh, uh, okay, so when you're finally, I'm sure like now you're in a field that is constantly experimenting, creating, growing. You're getting new versions of ChatGPT uh, in within the a few months in a time span of a few months. This technology is growing, and how. Um, when you finally see when you create something that is on an experimental basis, for example, let's take Sana or our AI wrapper. When you take these things, how quickly are you willing to risk your reputation on them? In other words, how quickly are you willing to put an experimentation out on scale? That okay, 10,000, 10 lakh copies will have this AI image, which is a very new experiment for me.
So when you are, so if you go, if you, so if you are in a war situation and you're killing somebody, you don't become a murderer. Then you become a shaheed. You become a savior of the country. But same man doing something out of that scenario becomes a murderer, become this. So everything depends on what is the scenario,
Hmm.
what is happening around me, what technologies are happening around me. So when I create something on a magazine, I have to be extremely careful what I'm putting up. I cannot copy work from other. A lot of AI models are trained on stolen data. Stolen data means what? Crawling the internet. So 90% AI model nowadays, whatever it is globally, everything has been crawled. So there are so many. Um, uh, let me put it this way. Let me make it diplomatic. So there are so many companies is under litigation
Hmm.
of copyright violation. So these things are happening every day only because the model is trained, the data is stolen from the internet. And you cannot train a AI with limited data. You will get absolutely crappy stuff. It has to be millions and billions of data to be, and to get those data, you cannot buy those data. You have to take a help of internet. And when the initial stage of internet AI happened, there was no obligation because whoever was training the data, he never thought his program will explode to a global phenomenon.
Hmm.
So, so everybody fell in that trap. But as a creator, and as a company I'm working in, India Today has a reputation being there, not copying, not stealing stuff. I have to be extremely, extremely careful. For you, it will be easy. Just put a prompt, take a picture, and put it. For me, I have to go back and forth. I have to find out whether this image is real or, and I have to change a lot of things in that image. The final image which AI pops up, you will never see uh, that image has been used in the magazine. There will be 30 to 40% alteration because I don't know. It is
Hmm.
humanly impossible to know whether this image were taken from somewhere. But at least I can use my input to make it my own, to create something which I am safeguarding my name, my company's name, as well as an artist. I will not enjoy stealing somebody's work, or I won't be happy somebody else is stealing my work. So that becomes a really a painful part of this process. Sometimes I feel, ki, let me do it by hand only. Yaar.
Hmm.
There's too many things happening in this. But sometimes, most of the time, I have to kind of rework, make it my own kind of thing, add my own inputs to create a unique image.
Hmm. A lot of the AI sensibility is, creating these complicated, highly hyper realistic, or maybe, the fine detailing of it is very like trying to be human like. But with your ideas specifically, the clever thing about your ideas is that most of your graphic design, or say your even your illustrations, they are so simple. Like the way you said that, a child could have imagined them. Like a child can understand that, and therein lies the intelligence of it, that how simple and so visually striking it is it also something that you have to engineer within your prompts, that keep it simple, don't do too much, don't try to go into 3D or stuff like that?
So there is a section called negative prompts. There is a positive prompt and negative.
Okay.
So whatever you don't want, you say yes in that negative prompt. Make it bad, make it obvious, make it complicated. So negative prompt, the AI will take exactly the opposite.
Right.
So it makes my life much easier.
Okay.
कि कोई बच्चे को बोलो तुम ये मत करो तो वो उल्टा ही करेगा. वही करना होता है उस इसमें कि उल्टा ही करो आप उसमें. take the negative thing positive, and then the positive thing comes out of that.
Right. Interesting. Um, when you're stuck creatively or strategically, you can't think of something. What is your process of coming out of that creator's block?
I leave everything, and at that moment of time, I'm not a creator. It's like मैं अपना घर छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ, मैं संन्यास ले रहा हूँ, इस कॉम्प्लिकेशन से मेरे से नहीं होगा. I don't want to do anything. It nothing to do with this life. I'm moving out of it. So I just leave everything and just go.
Like literally just walk out of the house or walk out of the office.
Walk out of the thing, yeah. And then I will go do something totally different. I like to cook, so I'll go and cook something, or I will go and listen. My favorite pastime is, I'm an audiophile, so I'm crazy about music, CDs and stuff. So I go and listen to music. So initially it bothers me, and then I forget, and then come and start fresh, because I delete the file also. It
Hmm.
shouldn't be anywhere.
Hmm.
So I come back and start again, and I've been blessed because most of the time it rarely happens. Let me put it this way: it not because I'm kind of being an ass and telling you, no, I'm very good, I'm genius. I'm not. Only thing is that this happens rarely, but it happens because when I'm working, I'm in my zone, and magic happens in that zone. So it is not me, but it is the process which makes it happen.
Hmm. And your process is a very, very, again, a very painstaking process, a very highly, I mean, the way you were describing just now, the way you even design the light on the face of the AI. I mean, those things, I mean, your attention to detail is so much. And I've seen you paint charcoal horses. Looks very, very complicated and very something that requires a lot of attention. Um, Maybe you're working long number of hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, unlimited number of hours, with that kind of a concentration of Mr. Bimal Das. Maybe sometimes, does productivity sustain over these many hours? Because if I were to, like, if you were to tell me that, oh, have you ever worked 48 hours, I'll probably tell you that, yeah, I worked 48 hours, but really I've maybe just worked 8 hours out of those 48 hours. I've pretended to work 48 hours. How do you sustain?
Exactly. See, I fairly finish my project quickly. I quickly do that because before I start anything, I have a plan. So 90% people doesn't have a plan before they start. I've seen that they're in the middle of it. They will kind of hackle and say, "Oh, let me do this." So I know what to do. I will finish it. But also that if I'm working for a long hours, that long hours doesn't mean I'm sitting in front of the computer. I may be ideating, I may be thinking. So it takes me a solid an hour to think on things. Or sometimes the idea comes like this, and then the execution takes a lot of time. But most of the time, I'm multitasking. So my 8 hours, 9 hours is not on single project. I may be so I look after India Today, Business Today. On a day in India, I have a 8 people AI team. I have a DIU. So there are a lot of things happening within that 8 to 10 hour span in office. So I'm multitasking, meeting, doing this, doing that. So my whole 8 hours is not one work. It's a bouquet of a lot of interesting thing, problem, solution, eureka moment, sad moment. So it's like an 8 hours movie full of action packed, and every day is like that. So my 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours is a partition of different emotions. So I don't get bored, I don't get exhausted, because when I come back, I feel, oh, excellent, आज तो ये हो गया, let me do something now. So I'll go back and paint. So my so hard work happens when you are not happy with the work. Let me put it this way.
Right.
Long hours happen, you feel long hours if you're not happy with your work, what you're doing. For me, it is only a half an hour. When I'm painting, I'm doing this, it goes by like this. But people, when you look from outside, you say, oh, 12 hours he's working. No, I'm enjoying. And those 8 hours, 12 hours passes like this.
Like you said now that if you're happy at your office on a Monday, then you're in the right job.
Yes, absolutely. I look forward Mondays. People say, "Oh, I have to go to office." I say, "I have to go to office."
uh, in that moments when that eureka, just you just heard what the cover story is, and the visual popped in your head immediately. There was no iteration, no back and forth. You just knew it. It just came out of the blue. What do you attribute that to? Is it like years of doing this? Is it a subconscious thing? Is it art that has been fed to you since you were a child? What is something?
See, there is a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, I've read it. Yeah.
So there's 10,000 hours of things. So I've been to a lakh hours. So my brain is trained in such a way because it's purely training myself every day and looking at things. People stop looking at things. I don't understand. I tell all my young designers, have you are you looking around or you're constantly on a phone?
Hmm.
So I come from a generation, there was no mobile phone, there was no internet. I was so happy. Everything was until even now also I go around, look at things. And I get people stop getting inspired. The day you stop getting inspired, so that's the reason there is no more Steve Jobs of the world.
Hmm.
The thinkers, the dreamer. Where are the dreamers? Where are the thinkers? Whenever I go to office, I see somebody as young as 22-year-old intern doing something which I get inspired. I said, मैं भी करता हूँ तेरे साथ. So in my office, I'm like that. यार ये भी करते हैं. Let's do this also, यार. So I find if you are always in awe, as a child, you're always constantly in awe of doing, oh my God, how this is happening. So AI came to my life exactly like that. I was a little kid and looking at things and say, oh my God, this is how can I be part? I can't be part of it. Let
Hmm.
me try out this. Let me try out that. So I think I was lucky enough, groomed in such a way that stay inspired and magic will happen.
Wow. When you're hiring people to be part of your team, these kids, do you find that there is a certain personality type or a certain quality or a certain background or a field of work that they're coming from, which is making them better at working with AI, or making them better at working with visual design than maybe others?
No, I'll tell you what. Whether you are interviewing an engineer, where interviewing an AI guy, interviewing an artist, everybody at the same level looking for comfort, looking for assurance, looking for a place where they can be them. Let me be me in that situation. So I'll give an example. So I was hiring this freshly passed out from IIT, this AI guy for my team. So he came with like very serious and with a bag sitting in front of me in the conference room. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said, यार bag नीचे रख, बात करते हैं. And I pulled my chair in front of him and he was like this. I said, relax. मैं तेरे को इंजेक्शन और वैक्सीन देने नहीं आया हूँ. Let's talk. So I started saying, अच्छा घर में कौन है? What's happening? Life में क्या है? अच्छा ये चल रहा है, क्या किया? अच्छा good. तो कब से शुरू कर सकता है? तो उसने बोला हाँ सर मैं कर सकता हूँ. मैंने बोला मेरा मेरा डिपार्टमेंट ये है कि टाइमिंग कुछ नहीं है. तेरे को प्रोजेक्ट होगा, इफ यू लाइक इट यू आई विल गिव यू एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू क्रिएट वॉट एवर यू फील लाइक. लेट मी गिव यू 3 months. You feel whatever you want to do it. And then I say okay, talk to HR. And then तो उसने बोला सर इंटरव्यू. मैंने बोला दिस वाज द इंटरव्यू. ही सेड सर ये ऐसे तो कभी हुआ नहीं. मैंने बोला नहीं ऐसे ही होता है, तो मेरे को पता नहीं, मेरे को सब तो ऐसे ही हुआ है. बोला अच्छा सर हो जाएगा नौकरी की आप सिलेक्ट कर रहे हो. मैंने बोला नहीं तेरा हो गया नौकरी, तू आ जा नेक्स्ट मंथ से, तू देख ले. तो क्या करूंगा? मैंने बोला तेरा जो मन करे तू कर आके. एंड शुभंकर विद इन अ मंथ आई हैव क्रिएटेड 5 products which is without any API. Those products are as brilliant as possible without any backup. They did it from the scratch. I'll come in the evening and say, अच्छा बताओ भाई तुम्हारा क्या चल रहा है, आज दिहाड़ी लगेगा, फिर ये करो, let's do this, let me see what you have done. सर हमने ये किया है, I have done this, sir, let me show you. That excitement. And I don't ask them what time you have come, what time you are going, no. But they are working more hours as a Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Have you heard a young 21-year-old working 14 hours? सर मैं आज घर नहीं जाऊंगा, रह सकता हूँ क्या, ये खत्म कर सकता हूँ? मैंने बोला यार तेरे को क्या हो गया, घर में लड़ाई चल रहा है और घर से निकाल दिया? नहीं नहीं सर, आई वांट टू फिनिश दिस, ये बहुत मजा आ रहा है। मैंने बोला ठीक है कर। So all of us are same. If you give them a big garden to play and say play,
Hmm.
and they are creating magic now. They are taking challenges. I told him ये वाला देख multi-million-dollar company है, इन्होंने text to image, image to video they have created. Can you do it? बोला सर चैलेंज, चैलेंज है, मैं लंच पे ले जाऊंगा कि तू कर लेगा। तू नहीं कर पाएगा तो मैं जहां बोलूंगा 5 स्टार में तेरे को लंच देना पड़ेगा। बोले सर कोई बात नहीं, अब ऐसे भी लंच ले लो, मैं करके दिखाऊंगा। Within 15 days he delivered. And now we are creating our own platform with this bunch of kids. 22-year-old, the most aged guy is 26.
Do you think it is the lure of freedom or the sense of ownership that is?
Sense of respect and confidence. End of the day, deep inside where you're working, 90% people don't feel respected. They become part of the clog. They become part of that whole system. A small little bolt lying around. So, in my opinion, everybody is precious. Everybody has a capability to create something unbelievable. And it is my own experience. And when I see this now as this fresh team, everybody say, "Arey, Gen Z kuch nahi karta. They are not interested. They are floaters." We used to call them floaters because they stick around 1 year or 6 months and they will leave. No interest, no work. You tell me a 21 years old telling me I want to work online. I will work on a weekend. I will come back and show you on Monday. Tell me where it happens. But I think the way I have given an opportunity in my life. So when I got hired in India Today, the challenge was if you can create this cover and this image, you are hired. मेरे बॉस ने मेरे को बोला था न्यूज स्टैंड में देख लेना, अगर तेरा कवर का फोटो है तू तब आना यहाँ ऑफिस, नहीं तो वहां नहीं आया तो सोचना तू फेल है, तू आना नहीं है तेरे को। दिस इज द फीडबैक आई गॉट फ्रॉम हिम। दिस वाज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट ही सेड, अगर इफ इट्स ऑन अ न्यूज स्टैंड यू आर हायर्ड, if the image is not there in news stand you're not hired. So those kind of excitement and adrenal rush is unbelievable. So that's I am using a very age old technique in this modern AI world, and these guys are extremely smart and talented, super intelligent. And I have seen where there is a high IQ, there is high AQ also, EQ also. And 90% people think they are the back end people, they are a tech guys. No, they are artists. These AI guys are artists. They are creating codes out of thin air, creating programs which is unbelievable. So I treat them as an artist. My team doesn't have tech. It's not a tech team. It's a group of artists creating amazing stuff with coding.
How exciting.
Yeah.
You have this parallel career as a world-renowned artist. You've been a proper painter. Um, do you see that influencing your graphic design and vice versa? Because
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I can I give you an example that I think is an influence. I may be completely wrong, and please correct me if I'm wrong. There's a painting, and I'm going to describe it to you again. It's going to flash on the screen. There's a painting of a horse, and it's just the neck of the horse drooping down, and you can just see the horse, and the neck is actually the neck of the horse is the centerpiece of that painting. And then I saw your cola cover, the two colas coming down, and immediately I was scrolling and I was like, oh well, I see some association here. Is that a fair?
Exactly. But I didn't notice that, but subconsciously, yes. Amazing, you have noticed that. Uh, exactly, yes. It complements each other. And my painting process helped me to improve my composition and design. It also create patience. It also create confidence. Because when you are confident enough to put a line confidently, your mouse is also working like that, because it is just a exchange of tools. The confidence happens here, the lines happens here. So you will see a lot of my work reflected in my graphic design from my art, and vice versa. So before horses, I have done a lot of contemporary work also. They are also a language of creating something what's happening around. So I did Aadhaar card series, where I created if Gandhiji was alive, will he get an Aadhaar card? If Vallabhbhai Patel was alive, will he get an Aadhaar card? How do you define their citizenship? So I created those series of Aadhaar card with Gandhiji, son of Motilal Nehru, this, Nehru's image saying Jawaharlal Nehru, Motilal Nehru, all those kind of. I created a series of Aadhaar card through that. And I also created PAN card where people ran away with the money. So Nirav Modi's of the world, Lalit Modi's of the world. So I created those PAN card. So that's how it's an editorial thing, but it has reflected into an art.
Hmm.
So that kind of funny things I do a lot.
Okay, so okay, this is we're reaching towards the end. Just a couple more questions. What's one belief about creativity that has changed in the last 5 years for you?
Originality. Everybody is following a trend. It has the design has become Instagrammable. Everything is as a. So whenever you're looking at graphic art, you will see there is a word called trending. What is trending in 2025? 5 years back, there was no trending art. How can it's not fashion? It's not food. It is trending. So this year it is pink. Next year it is beige. I don't understand that. So art has changed into a kind of a process which is followed by a bunch of people and creating same kind of visual elements, and we call it trend to get away from being criticized. So you may call tomorrow, Nilanjan, you are doing something look exactly like this. I will say, see, this is a trend.
Hmm.
I can get away with the trend. So in my opinion, trending is an escape from originality.
Hmm.
I don't see unique stuff. There are a lot of stuff happening unique also, but I always see a reflection, because this Instagram and this all this social media has gone so deep that we have started thinking like Instagrams. We have started creating like Instagram or a Facebook. So all our language, communication language, changed into social media
Yeah.
stuff.
We are kind of editing ourselves around the medium rather than editing the medium to fit our thinking.
Exactly, exactly.
Do you think there is space for it though anymore? I mean, with the algorithm, social media algorithm, and with these trends and corporate pressure, I'm sure you must also feel that pressure that Mr. Nilanjan, do something that is this is trending, do this, or do you have that? Do you enjoy a certain freedom that okay, I'll decide, I'll be the one.
No, see, because of AI, lot of requests come from my bosses saying, "Let's do this, do that." But I have a jackpot. I started early, so I tell them, "Hello, I started early. We're the first, so you don't have to teach me. I know." So even if I'm not following trend, I'll say I am following every trend. Don't worry about it. We started. You remember AI started by us in India, so that confidence you should have, right? They said, "Yeah." I said, "So everything is trending." Even though I don't follow a lot of trend, because I know those trend fizzles out within a month or within days, and AI is so dynamic. To keep a pace with I will go crazy. So I pick up certain part of AI which is kind of trending and which is kind of unique, because there's a lot of garbage in internet, lot of fake garbage bullshit about AI. I don't buy those. Whatever in front of me. So now what I'm doing now, let me explain, then you'll understand. So I'm creating platforms now. So my main job is to create platform like Sora or VO, and I'm creating those platforms. So when I do that, I see how intricate and how difficult it is to create a platform. So there is no trend, no nothing. There is an unknown path where you don't know whether this platform will work or not. You're spending money, you're spending time. But if you're creating those paths become trending. So
Exactly.
you become a trend rather than following a trend. And people doesn't understand that to be known, nowadays everybody wants to be known. So to be known, you have to create something unique. You cannot follow a trend and say, I'm this, because this already been done. So in my opinion, create something which is different from rest, whatever the 99% is doing, you will create a trend.
Yeah, even from your pure graphic design days, your covers have been quote unquote inspiring a lot of other magazines and their covers as well. They constantly get, I mean, we see your design, and then next week we see some other magazine doing the same thing. So I'm sure you must be used to setting trends in that in that
I
world.
don't look at it. So now if I tell you, no, no, I don't look at trend, I'm this, I'll be lying. I'll be brutal honest with you. When I see somebody is copying, it's a compliment for me. And I take it as a compliment. I don't kind of say, oh, he's following me, he's copying me. No, copying is a form of compliment. I always believe that. So a lot of my work also influenced my father's work. So that is a compliment towards him.
Hmm.
So a lot of people will say, Arey, sometimes I see your father's reflection. That is nice.
Hmm.
Artist like legend like him, I'm able to get 5% out of it. I am happy with it. I follow a lot of designers, young designers, old designers, and get inspired from my team also. An intern came and did a design. I said, "काश मैं ऐसा कर सकता था तेरे एज में यार. इस एज में भी मैं सोचूंगा करने के लिए."
Hmm.
So a lot of time they don't understand, but I know. Uh, to be brutally honest, everybody is getting inspired from somebody now. It is throughout the history.
Yeah.
From a Renaissance times of painters till now, every idea is influenced by somebody.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the comments on Mr. Bimal Das's paintings were, "This is so lifelike. This is like
Yeah.
this painting is like uh, an image." And I was wondering, like, do you think you would know what his reaction to AI art would have been?
He could have been, he would be very upset. He's pure analog. The people who are pure analog, we hate digital. But I know what he will say. I remember when I was doing computer graphics, he was very happy. He said, okay, you are using tech as part of the art.
Hmm.
So I believe if he was alive, and he could have said, good, this is a brilliant tech, but don't forget your
Artistry.
basic core artistry,
Yeah.
because that helps you to survive even in this stormy situation where people are losing job. You will be unique if you still concentrate in your analog. So I always believe that's why I paint. I'm a very analog person, but I also enjoy doing digital. Whenever people ask me, I said, yeah, I am an analog person,
Hmm.
but I really like of doing digital stuff.
I think you do digital for the outcome, but you do analog for the process.
Exactly. Exactly. And the challenges are much, much higher in analog than digital.
Of course.
Creating AI is nothing. I can sit down and create a platform in a week's time. But creating a horse, it's very difficult. There's a lot of doubt when you start doing it. And every time you think, Are, ye to galat jaga ja raha, ye hoga nahi. It is now, I'm destroying this. And that panic and then saving, mistake, saving, that process is unbelievably there's a huge amount of adrenaline rush to it.
Like I can only imagine. Final question, then I'll let you go. If you had to write an AI prompt describing the your Nilanjan Das's creative philosophy, what would that prompt say?
So I have written a punchline few days back in Facebook.
Hmm.
Is life is an ultimate prompt.
I read that.
Yeah. So what does it mean is you always visualize to be this person. That is also a prompt. when you are talking about yourself, I want to be like this, I want to be what you're prompting, right, to the universe. So I always believe AI is a reflection of human. It also teaches you certain things which you may not know and may not understand now, but eventually you will understand that whole thing comes into a circle. Your prompt is you. Whatever you prompting to somebody, you pray to God, that is prompting, man. मेरे को ये दिला दो मेरे को. So if I write, please as an AI God expert, provide me a car and a home and a stable career. So you're constantly going to a temple is a computer, a server, and you go there and there lies your chat GPT. You say, prompt me this. So a lot of time it's hallucinate. So you don't get a house, you don't get a car. But sometimes you get a car and you get a house. You say, ah, excellent. Then you'll say, Shubhankar, Nilanjan, what a prompt you have written. What a result. So I think we are all prompting. We are not vibing, we are constantly prompting to each other, to everyone.
This is like describing spirituality to a kid.
Exactly. You're prompting to God. You're not raising, this is this and this is this.
Please, beta, prompt every night before you go to bed.
Exactly. Beta, aaj prompt kiya ki nahi?
What a great note to end the conversation with. Thank you so much, sir. It's been an incredible conversation, and truly, not just for saying it, but I feel so educated and enlightened. What a great start to my day. Thank you so much
Really,
for
thank you so much. Really appreciate this, and you thought of doing that. And absolutely, anytime if you need anything, let me know. Any questions, you can always bug me. You can ask questions. It's all there, and I think stay inspired.
Thank you so much. Is there any feedback for me? I'll do everything to make things right.
No, not do whatever you like. It's absolutely it's yours. Your baby. Let's see how we're going to dress him up.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. If you learned something new from this episode of the Horsemouth podcast, do rate and review us on Spotify, Instagram, X, or wherever people engage with you the most.